So why do we say? To hurt someone, to say, I hate it. On the contrary, you must say that, all right, I like this, but you could do better. That's the sign of love, where you want a person to be dressed up in a way that is appealing. But this is on a very, very baser level, we see. Then we go further to see a person, how intelligent he is, how smart he is, how charismatic he is, how charming, that's another word which is very elusive. These are also kind of conditionings of the mind, that you think that a particular style of a person is a lovable person, that you love that person. It's so much outside. Or some people actually do not love, but show they love because somebody has more money. And the money he is not going to part with, no doubt. But you love that person because he has more money. Or he has a better car, or he is better dressed, whatever it is. So this kind of a idea one has also is a killer of love. If love is killed, joy is lost. You cannot have joy without love. I say joy and love both are just the same. Then it gets even subtler and subtler and subtler. Then we start, say, loving our own children. That's very common. I mean, of course, also some people don't even love their children. I mean, there are all kinds. But then they go on, this is my child, this is my child, this is my child. That's again is the death of love. As I told you before, the sap of the tree rises, goes to every fruit, goes to every leaf, goes to every part, and comes back. It's not attached. If you are attached to one part or to one flower because it is more beautiful, then the tree will die and the flower will also die. So that's the death of the love. So you have to have love which doesn't get entangled or attached. Every time I tell like this, they say how to do it. The love of the spirit is of that kind. Love of conditioned mind is different. A conditioned mind can love in a limited way because it is conditioned. Then the greatest enemy of love is ego within us, which is like a balloon on top of our head. And this ego gives us a very big tension. The conditioning, of course, like they see, say for example, they see a carpet. Now, it is according to their conditioning is not good. So they say, oh, what a carpet it is, or something. This kind of conditioning of very low level. And the higher level at the most is that you love your own country. So my country is the best. Whether it is killing people, whether it is destroying the world peace, it's all right because I belong to a particular country. It is the best. We can never criticize our country and countrymen. It goes on subtler and subtler, but on the intelligent side, it is even worse. Because intelligently, if you have understood that something is good, then nobody can save you. because through your brain you have understood. Actually, it is very surprising. I was reading the book written by Rabindranath Tagore, and an Englishman had given a very beautiful preface to that, an introduction. And he said that the creativity is killed in the West. So he asked a gentleman who was an Indian critic, he said, "Don't you criticize your poets? You don't have people who are critics?" Yes, we have. They criticize. So what do they criticize? Oh, they can criticize that this time there was no rain, so we had problems and things. He said, no. We are thinking about the poet. Do they criticize the poet? Do they criticize an artist? Say, is it meant for criticism? It is created. Whatever he felt is created, but supposing he has put something very vulgar, then of course we don't like it. But if it is created by a beautiful mind, has to be beautiful, then you don't criticize. He says, no, because we cannot create like that. So what business have we got to create? This is how intelligently what we have done. We have norms about everything, about art, about every creation. We don't like this carpet. Why? Because it doesn't appeal to our intellectual understanding of the norms we have reached. And in that frame, it doesn't fit in, so we don't like it. Can you even create 1 inch of that? So this ego gives you an unauthorized action. It is unauthorized, anadhikarchishta, unauthorized. You have no authority to criticize. You can't do anything. So why should you criticize? Better appreciate and see for yourself that you are not in authority. You are not worthy of it to criticize. If you are not worthy of it, why should you criticize anything? And otherwise, also you must know you are a slave of your ego. Whatever your ego dictates and your intelligence, so-called intelligence, brings you to a point, to some norm. And then it becomes a collective ego of a particular community, of a particular country, of a particular ideologies. It's collective. So then they say, oh, we think this is no art. That is the reason we cannot have masters anymore in art. We can't have Rembrandt. We can't. Poor Rembrandt must have himself suffered a lot. Gauguin suffered a lot. All these artists suffered a lot. Even Michelangelo suffered a lot. Not only monetarily, but otherwise. Criticize. So I think people have given up. I met an artist who had done lots of artwork. I said, why don't you show me? He said, no, I don't want to show, it's created for myself. I said, I would like to see. I saw it was beautiful, very beautiful. I said, why don't you show? He said, no use, people will just criticize. I do it for my own pleasure. They'll just spoil the whole joy of my creation. So one of the basic things we should avoid is to criticize others. Better to criticize yourself. Criticize yourself, criticize your brothers and sisters, criticize your country, criticize all the habits you have and laugh at yourself is the best way. If you know how to laugh at yourself, then you will not object or will not stand in the way of any creativity of another person. So with ego, you become so unauthorized. You can criticize anything. You think you have a right. Who has given you this right to criticize is the question one should ask to oneself. How can we criticize anyone? As saints, as you are now, of course, you can make out who is caught up, who has given bad vibrations, who has the problem. You know that. You know it. It's not conditioning. It's not just you are doing because there's some ego, but you are feeling it on your fingertips. It's an actual feeling within you. It's the bodha by which you know. Then what should you do? In your love, you have to tell the person, if possible, that this is wrong with you, better be corrected. But in a way that he does it. On the contrary, if you tell him in a way that he becomes even worse than what it is, you have not loved that person at all. Allow everybody to grow. There are many people in Sahaja Yoga who are very, very good, excellent, no doubt. But also there are some people whom we can call as very difficult, very. There's sort of a crack in their head or something. That part is missing sometimes. Some screws are loose, I think. Sometimes they behave like clowns. We have known some people just can't help. They could be very intelligent otherwise. They could be very sharp otherwise. But in Sahaja Yoga, they cannot come down to that level where you can say now the growth is possible. Supposing the Mother Earth was very hot like sun, there would have been no growth. Or it was cold like moon, there would have been no growth. It had to come to the center where it had both the things in proper proportions to grow. In the same way, a human being has to work out that you keep a moderation and a balance and understand, not to go to extremes of it. That balance you learn when you love someone. In Sahaja Yoga, as you know, that we have to ask some people to leave Sahaja. This is out of love for them. Because once they go out, they improve. I have seen that tremendously. But when they are inside the Sahaja community, they become a nuisance and they want to be more nuisance because their ego plays the part, maybe the conditioning plays the part, whatever it is. They want to be a nuisance. So we have to ask them that please now depart for a while. Now if that nuisance value is lost in a person, then he has to be straightforward. He cannot be any more a nuisance. And logically, it can appeal to a person if you tell that person that this is the reason why we want you to be out. But they can be very disgustingly troublesome, I know that. But you have to show complete patience and complete understanding, and you must talk like a person who loves. Love has such a power that nobody wants to do something that will suggest that they don't love. Very powerful thing it is. It binds people in such a beautiful manner that one wants to do something. For example, you want to give me flower because you know I love flowers. So you want to give me flower to suggest that Mother, we love you. See, just to such, I know you love me, but you just want to sort of reinforce it, the thought in me. So you want to give me a flower to show your love, an expression of your inner feeling for me. So all these material things can be used to express your love. They can be very easily expressed in such a manner that another person knows what is love. But the whole power of Sahasrara is love. So, you should see that this brain has to love. Brain has to love. After now verifying the powers of Sahaja through your brain and intelligence, if you reach a point where you understand that no, it's no use analyzing, synthesizing, doing all these things. It's just love, a simple love. So the same Sahasrara which has been used before, this brain, for analyzing, for criticizing, for doing all kinds of nonsensical things, now wants to laugh and enjoy the love. And there is the culmination, where the brain just loves. That is the situation one has to reach. It just loves. It knows only love because it has seen the power of love. You reach a certain logical conclusion, and then you see the point. Like Adi Shankara wrote so many things like Viveka Chudamani, this, that, and all those treatises, and then he said, no, nothing. He just writes the praise of the mother, finished. So once you reach that point, you can say now you are in nirvikalpa, because there is no vikalpa, there is no doubt in your head. Because you love. In love you don't doubt. No question. Only when you think you doubt, but when you love you don't doubt. You just love because you enjoy love. And that's why love is joy and joy is love. So after so many days, the Sahasrara has been opened out. We have to open out our Sahasrara again through our meditative processes, through understanding ourselves and others. Maybe logically reaching that point. There's no way out now. We have reached the end of it now. The whole logic has ended up. Now jump in the ocean of love. Finished. Once you jump in the ocean of love, there's nothing to be done. Just to be enjoyed. Every wave of it. Every hue of it. Every touch of it. That is what one has to learn by reasoning that Sahaja is nothing but is love. May God bless you.